Arturo, Fuente, Casa, Cuba, and Doble Trace. Today I'm smoking the Arturo Fuente Casa Cuba Doble Trace. This line was actually the final blend created by Carlos Fuente Sr. It was designed as a tribute to old school cigars, more about the balance and tradition rather than strength. It uses an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with Dominican filos and binos, giving it a classic, refined profile in my opinion. As I'm not big into flavor notes, this cigar is definitely very woodsy. Very woodsy, a little bit of nuttiness and whatnot, and a little bit of cedar. That's really what's being pointed out to me at this moment. Now, I really enjoy Coronas. It's a very nice, elegant, old school size. You really don't see it a lot. You really don't. You know, a lot of companies, hopefully they'll start switching back to making this size. But now it's usually Robustos, Toros, big old 6x60s. But a nice Corona is very good. I really enjoy it. Now, as some of you in the cesspool community know, I haven't had the greatest experience with this cigar, specifically this box batch. Now, other cigars I haven't smoked of Casa Cuba outside the box I bought, they were excellent. But I think I just got a very bad batch. There was a lot of flavor notes to it. It was very harsh. The construction wasn't that great. It kept going out on me. But that could have been personal error, but I don't think it was. But this specific stick outside of that, this comes out of that same box batch. It's actually very nice. Tonight's drink of choice is the Barks Root Beer. One of my favorite beverages to pair with a cigar, just because I don't like alcohol. This is definitely a nice looking cigar. Very reddish in the color, reddish brown. The band is very classic. Looks very, very, very classic Cuban-esque in my opinion. The ash is nice. The straight burn, straight as I can get it. But still, it's very nice looking cigar. I did a crown cut just because it's what I do, because I don't have a straight cut, and that was the more airflow in my opinion. I haven't smoked a lot of Coronas in a while. Most of the cigars the boys from cesspool community have been sending me. Previously, a little bit ago, Ed, bless my good friend, Professor, another great guy, and one of the coolest people you could ever meet, Lack. Those guys are all on the Twitch community with cesspool, all chatting about. They sent me an amazing cigar bomb with 5 of my favorite cigar, the Ashen ESG, and 5 Liga Privada H99s, which I haven't had before. That cigar, the H99, is probably my second of all time favorite cigar. Ignore the dogs. But the ESG is still my number one. So how was y'all's Memorial Weekend? Mine was pretty packed, actually. Saturday was pretty chill. It was just a chill day. But Sunday we went golfing. I went golfing with my brother-in-law and his friend. You might have saw my post on YouTube of me holding an H. Maduro. That was a blast. We almost got into a fight in the parking lot because of some idiots on the course. Then afterwards, we went to Pebble Bay at Lake of the Ozarks to listen to my brother-in-law's mother sing. She's a singer at the lake, and she sings at like the musical and whatnot. Then afterwards, we went to their house for a fish fry. Mwah. They make amazing food. And then Monday, Memorial Day, we went to it was a chill day. Then we went to their house again for dinner, burgers, dogs. We had all the great American foods. So it was a pretty packed weekend. You know, support troops. Can never be too blessed, too thankful for what they do. Go out and fight for us, especially with what's going on overseas. Keep them in your prayers, please. This cigar is actually doing me very nicely this time. I'm impressed. I'm surprised. It's actually, you know, I was expecting it to be a dud, like all the other ones I've smoked. At least like the last 10 of the cigars I've had out of the box, I have 2 left after this one. The 10 previously have not been enjoyable for me. They haven't, and it's a shame too, because you spend all that money on the box to find out that most of them just aren't that enjoyable, and it sucks. But this one actually is very good. I'm definitely not going to buy another box of Casa Cubas. That was a big mistake on my part. But I definitely pick these up every now and then. But I'm not going to buy a box of these. It's definitely not a box worthy cigar like the Aged Maduro for me. What's y'all's opinions on Coronas? Do you enjoy them? Do you smoke them a lot? I like to know, because Coronas are not a dying size. They're actually making a resurgence now. But for a while, no one made Coronas. Now companies, especially boutique brands, are coming out with a Corona. And that's amazing. Toros and Robuzzos and Chochos are amazing. But just going back to the roots of cigars, like Coronas were considered like the biggest sized. It's definitely a nice treat every now and then. I could see myself going back to Coronas. I used to smoke them. Coronas like 2 years ago were all I smoke. Just cause you don't have to be outside for so long. You get a lot of flavor. You get more of the wrapper out of the cigar. But recently, for the past 6 months, previously, I've just been smoking torpedoes or toros. But I think now I'm definitely going to get back into like Robustos and Coronas, especially since it's summertime, and I'm not a big fan of the heat. I can handle it, but like no way I'm smoking a Churchill in the heat. And if you've been to Missouri, and especially Lake of the Ozarks, you know how hot how hot it can get. Don't forget, Sunday, May 31st at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Cesspool Cigar of the Month live stream will be happening. I myself will be a panel member on there, as well as several members from the community, including Seth, of course, Professor, Schwartzy, which is he's a newcomer to the community, but he's been amazingly helpful. He's made some epic emojis. He's helped with the live streaming, like the desktop stuff. He's an incredible guy. Big shout out to Schwartzy. I think he goes by Gibson or something on YouTube, but big shout out to that guy. And another big shout out to NorCal Cigar Crew. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it more than you know. You guys are doing good there. I'm praying for you and your family. You and Big Pun's family. As it hurts a lot to lose people. I know that recently. I lost my dad back in August, and I'm still feeling the pain of that. Losing him, especially at my young age, it hurts, and losing any sort of family sucks. So know that I'm praying for you boys. If you haven't yet, go follow NorCal Cigar Crew on YouTube. They post amazing content out there. Much better production quality than I am. They got a mic. I don't got a mic. They're doing amazing over there. Amazing guys out there. At least this time I don't have to worry about the rain. I think. There's no clouds in the sky that I can see. So the Lord really doesn't rain on me last time, because I didn't smoke a good chunk of that cigar. But it's alright. You win some and you lose some. That's a very pretty cigar. I like the reddish hue. And that band is elegant. I like that band. Very classic, very, old world, traditional-esque. But yeah, the May 31st is the cigar of the month. It will be Ev, Schwartzy, Izzy, and Pun from NorCal. They'll be on the panel. Professor, myself, Lack, and of course Seth. So if you have a lot of room to Cuba me and more laying around, it doesn't have to be the specific Bellicosa size, just a me or more. Feel free to join the live chat and tell us what you think about when you smoke along with us. We'd be happy to have you there. I'll post a link to Seth's Twitch in the description, as well as to Izzy and Punch's channel. I'll post links to them in the description. That sampler should be arriving sometime tomorrow. It's Wednesday right now, so hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, it will arrive. If not, then either Friday, Saturday, but I'm positive it will arrive sometime tomorrow. And tomorrow, as soon as I get that sampler, I'll come out here and do an unboxing. I may not have enough time if it comes here before the stream or after. It depends. I may not have enough time to to smoke something out of that box yet, but I'll try my best. And we'll see what I want to smoke then, if I have time to. The nuttiness of the cigar has kind of diminished a little bit. It's more the woodsy and cedarish I can taste. That's really all I'm getting from it. It's still excellent, but it's not as good as the first throw, in my opinion. But still, I'm still enjoying it. It's definitely going a lot better than the other Cachacubas I've had out of this batch. Here's your favorite dog. Come here. Up. Here's Honey. Come on. There you are. Hi, Honey. This is Honey again. I'm gonna keep using you. Nah, I'm just kidding. You're adorable. I love you. the nuttiness is starting to come back a little bit. I'm still tasting the nuttiness. Still a lot of cedar. Still very woodsy. Now, Seth describes the cigar as having a mineral earth note. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that means or what I'm supposed to taste. I don't know what the earth tastes like. I mean, I'm not going to go down to the ground and get a handful of dirt and eat it. But the cedar, still a little bit of a nuttiness in there. This one is definitely doing me a lot better than the previous Casa Cubas I've had. 100%. Now, if they were all like this out of that box, I would have been a happy camper. I would probably smoke the entire batch within a week. But it wasn't. And so, honestly, this cigar has been sitting in my humidor since October. So, it's now May, end of May. So about 7 months of age on this. Now that I don't think that makes much of a difference, but maybe that's why this is doing me a little bit better. But who am I? I don't know. You know, from afar, it kind of looks like a Ramon Alonas, how you pronounce it. A Ramon Alonas band. Kind of from afar almost. At least just to me, I guess. I've never had any Cubans before. I know the sample that Seth sent me has a Cuban in it. I'm not sure how excited I am, just because of how what's going on right now and the fact that, you know, the quality in Cubans have dropped severely. But I'll definitely do a review on it here, and I'll let y'all know my thoughts. I'm definitely intrigued. I wouldn't say excited. Not that I'm not excited, you know. But I'm definitely more intrigued than anything. Just because I want to see if what they say is true or not. But yeah. I'm really excited to try the Padrones he sent me. I've never had any Padrone. And I don't know. I think it's the box press of it. I'm not a big fan of box pressed in cigars. I think that's why I've been a little hesitant of it. But I'm very excited to try those cigars. I've only ever heard great things about Padrone. As well, he's sending me a tabernacle broadleaf. I've only had the Havana seed and the tabernacle, and he was just sending me an Olmec. I've never had any Olmec, so I'm excited for that. He sent me about 12 cigars, so all of those cigars will be reviewed for a YouTube video here. Yeah, I was surprised with that Ashton Maduro on the golf course. It was the same size as I reviewed. It was the Pyramid, the 6x52 torpedo. It lasted me over 2 hours on the course. I lit it before we even started. Before they even started. Because I wasn't playing, I was just watching. I don't have any cups. I like to get into golf. But I was just watching. But I couldn't lit it before, you know, they even started playing. Before we even got to the course. And I tossed it out down to the nub at hole 13, and we're going through it not slowly but pretty quickly. But yeah, I was actually impressed with that. I had another one on me, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish this before we end the game. Then I'm going to have to, leave that much left and toss it out. I probably should have brought this though, because there have been 2 scars. Have been the perfect amount of time. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, because of course there's so many cuts. But I've been going for about, I want to say half an hour now. And no, that's probably more like probably like 40 minutes now, without the cuts and whatnot. Um, but yeah, this is doing me very nicely. What has been your guys' favorite cigar from Arturo Fuente specifically? Like they're just from the brand. Mine personally has been the Añejo. I love that cigar. I would love to get some to do a review on them here. It's so good, so good. Now, I've never had an Opus before. I've I've had pretty much every regular production cigar. I've had the Hemingway. I've had the Gran Reservas. I had the Don Carlos, which I love. I've had the Magnum Rosado, and of course the Casa Cuba. So that pretty much, brings, covers the base, the baseline stuff, the regular production stuff. Of course, in the only like rare stuff I've had, or limited production stuff I've had from Fuente, is the Añejo. That's it, the Añejo, and I love that cigar. I love it. I love that broadleaf wrapper, and there's Asian cognac barrels, which, I guess that's what adds to sweetness, because it's such a sweet cigar. It's definitely more on the stronger side, definitely an after dinner smoke for me. But yeah, I really enjoy that cigar. I do have to say, a Corona is definitely more comfortable to me in the hand, as well as in the mouth. It's definitely more comfortable to clench, just because of like the thin ring gauge and whatnot, and you don't end up crushing the cigar with your teeth as I do with like a Toro, because with like a Toro or like a thicker ring gauge cigar, I like to clench my cigars in my teeth, and like with a bigger ring gauge, they end up getting the heads of the cigars end up getting brutalized almost. Not too bad. I'm not chewing on them, but as I keep them in my teeth, they tend to deform a little bit. But you don't get that much with a Corona, for me at least. I'm definitely down a little bit further into the cigar. Almost down to the band. I guess like the end of like the second third. I guess you call this. I don't know, but it's still doing me very nicely. That woodsy, is definitely more prominent. A little bit of nuttiness to it. That's all I can really say. I'm not big on flavor notes. I'm not that far along, but I am enjoying it. It's definitely, it's doing me very nicely this time around. Let's see how the other two work, Lord willing. I think my next box buy, whatever it is gonna be a Corona. Not saying I'm gonna buy another box of these, but in general, my next box buy, I think I'm gonna try to go for a Corona and that stick. Whatever it is. It's probably gonna end up being something Ashton or something I really enjoy. My birthday is around Father's Day, so maybe, pick up something good. Maybe a box of Añejos, if I'm not lucky, if I have enough money. But I think one of my all-time favorite Corona cigars is the Don Carlos No. 3. I dated that cigar for a good... I think it was my daily cigar for a good, two quarters of a year when I first started out. It wasn't so strong. It was very mild in my opinion. Now it's mild, but back then when I saw it, it was definitely more medium-bodied. I love Cameroon. I love that Cameroon wrapper, especially on that thin end of a cigar. I smoked probably four to six boxes of just that size alone. Not to mention the other sizes and that don't color, but they're just at that size. I love it. I love it so much. I may end up picking one of those again just because, brings you back down memory lane. In the sampler that Seth is sending me, he sent me a Don Carlos Personal Reserve. I never had it before. I think that's the one stick I'm most excited to try. I feel like I should save it. I definitely want to do a review on it though. I want to do a review on it, so I probably won't save it for too long, just because I want to smoke that as soon as possible. But it won't be the first cigar I smoke, because there's a lot of cigars on the sampler I'm going to have to review for y'all. Especially the Avowed. Seth just sent me some Avowed just because it's a new brand in his humidor, and he hasn't got many much feedback on it. So I'll probably be doing those reviews amongst the first reviews I do, just to help him out, to give him some feedback. Once again, I'll post in the description. I'm remind myself, so I'll watch it later so I know to post it. I'll put that in the description, Seth's YouTube and Twitch. So Monday through Friday, from 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to around, I think around like 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I think that's when the shop closes. He's live. He's live Monday through Friday, and then of course this Sunday, May 31st, he won't be live at the Tinderbox, but he'll be live at his home for the Cigar of the Month with a Me and More. Feel free to join. If you have the Me and More, perfect. If you don't, still join. Good people on that panel. Amazing people on that panel. You'll get to hear from Izzy, Pun. Y'all know who those are. Seth, Lack, Professor. Bunch of good guys. Shortsy. Who else? Ev. I feel like I'm missing someone. I think that's it. So I'm about down to the band, and I'm still getting a little bit of the woodsy notes, the cedar. The nuttiness is still there. Definitely more mild, the flavor it is. Not saying the strength is mild, just the nuttiness has kind of diminished a little bit. Almost onto the band. I'm definitely going to hopefully be able to nub the cigar. The past ones I've had out of this box have not been... I usually get to point like where the ash ends and then just toss it out just because it hasn't been a great experience. But this one has been actually surprisingly well. Smoke it down to the end of the second third, and I'll let you know how it goes. I was able to get a light on out here so we can see a little bit better, but smoke a little bit down, take the band off, wherever it is. Here it is. There it is. I'll be upside down a little bit. No, it's good. There's the band. A little bit red just because of the lighting and whatnot. But yeah, a little bit down. I'm not exactly down to the nub yet. I'm definitely going to be able to finish this one though. It's honestly perfect out here right now. Not so hot, it's actually pretty cool. Despite it supposed to be 73 degrees out. But yeah. This one's doing me very nicely. Now, I won't buy a box of these again. I'll probably let these go for a little bit. Won't smoke them for when I'm done with these. Just because I haven't had a great experience with it. But probably in a few months or about a year, I'll pick up one again and try it out again and see how much I like it. Because this just could be a one-time thing, and like the rest of the other two could be just god-awful. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really, really good. Don't forget, May 31st, Cigar of the Month. Make sure you're there. I want to give again a shout out to Izzy and Big Pun over in the North Coast Cigar crew. Make sure you send them some love. They've been going through it recently, as well as my friend Mob, N0B on Twitch. He recently lost his father-in-law. Make sure you send him some love. If you're on Twitch and Discord, just send him some love. Big thanks to Seth and whatnot. He's been a big help and friend. I enjoy watching the streams. Despite the bullshit they gave me, it's all paid for banter at the end of the day. Just amazing dude. He's done more for me than I could ever, express, and more than he ever knows. Lack, Professor, those two dudes are freaking awesome. Ed, I freaking love you, dude. Hopefully you're surviving that storm over there. I know you're going through the shit with that weather over there, but amazing good guys. Schwartzy, Nicola's a good dude. Good luck getting over to the States. I know it's going to be a little challenging. Definitely going to be new. It's going to be very new for you, bud. If you think you know what you're expecting, you're not. You don't know what you're expecting, especially if you're going to Vegas. But yeah, it's been a very good night so far. Very calm. Go run. This is my third installment of the Cigar Journal. I'm definitely gonna get back into it more. God willing, I can only do so much. And if I have cigars, I will review them. I'm not going to review the same specific vitolas of cigars, but I will review, say if, like with the Yashik Maduro, I will do if I get that cigar in like another size, I will review that size, but I won't review specific vitolas again. And if I end up doing that, I just forgot what I reviewed. But I'll make sure not to, review the same vitolas, each time. I'll try my best with that. That's the bug zapper. Hopefully it's not coming through too much. Hopefully it's not too loud. Shouldn't be. God willing, it shouldn't be. Good enough burn line. Ashed it about, a few seconds before this take. Crown cut. I'm going to continue smoking this down. Right, and when I get to the nub, I'll get back on you for another take, and I'll let you know how it goes. And then we'll sign off for this one. But I'm going to smoke it down to the nub. Well, I smoked it down pretty far. Started to burn my fingertips a little bit. It's been enjoyable. The nuttiness is definitely gone. It's more of the woodiness and the cedar. It was been a good smoke, surprisingly for me. In the past, I haven't really enjoyed them, but and this may have redeemed them for me. Definitely not going to smoke them after I get done with these other two. Won't smoke them again for a while. Not going to buy another box of these probably ever. But with a Corona, definitely gonna buy something in the Corona next. I love this size. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. Well, with that being said, this has been episode 3 of my cigar journal with the Arturo Fuente Casa Cuba. Which everyone probably can't see too well. That's alright. Let me know what you think of this cigar. If you enjoyed it, if you don't enjoy it, let me know in the comments. Once again, big shout out to North Coast Cigar crew. Don't forget, Wednesday, May 31st, Cigar of the Month. And with all that being said, this is me signing off. Episode 3 of My Cigar Journal with the Arturo Fuente Casa Cuba.